Okay, folks, don't know if you've seen it this morning. You know, I like the old look on Sunday. I enjoyed it this morning. I always do. But not much to report from there, not much that took me fancy. Having said that, they did the old, I can't remember what it's called, the old bits and pieces where they go through 5 or 6 topics. And one of them interested me. I can't remember what it's called, the section, but if you watch the show, you'll know it. They did 2 minutes on about 6 or 7 subjects. Anyway, one of them was about the restructuring at Cheltenham. There's rumours that from next year onwards, they're going to change the layout of the 4 days. It's still probably going to be kept to 4 days. Some are saying they might move from 7 races a day to 6. Some are saying they might get rid of certain races. Some are saying they're going to introduce other races. Obviously, if they get rid of some, they're going to have to do that, I would have thought. Anyway, nobody at this moment knows what's going to happen. I had some thoughts on it, a good while ago now, I mean, I've said in the past, folks, I like pool betting, I like play spots and what have you, and I definitely think there's not enough handicaps on there. And with a good handicap, especially at the Hummer racing at Cheltenham, you're always going to get good fields. You're always going to get you more than 16 runners, because I love the 4 places in a play spot, jackpot, quad pot, whatever it might be. Not that I tend to do the quad pot. It's a crap bet if you'd ask me. But the bets that I like. And this is what I would do if it were up to me. And I think a couple of things you may agree with. One of them I'm pretty sure you won't, because one of them is one of the races that nobody tends to like at the festival. I'll give you the one that you wouldn't probably like first. I thought what they could do, because if they got rid of certain races, because they're looking at getting rid of certain races to try and make some of the races more competitive, because some of the championship races they've been a bit, not the championships, the grade ones, they've diluted it a little bit too much, and I quite agree with that. But if they do get rid of some, they've got to put some in the place. Now, many don't like the bumper. I do. I know it's pretty much a Willie Mulline's benefit, but then again, which race isn't at the moment? But what I think I'd like them to do, they're getting more and more mares races now. You've got a mare's hurdle, you've got a mare's chase. I think they could look at a mare's bumper. This is where they've got to look at extra races, but this isn't the one that I'm most keen on. There's always 2 or 3 mares go for that bumper, but only ever 2 or 3. There's lots of mares in training, as you see now, mares are becoming more prevalent now all the time, because you're getting those mares races, you're getting the hurdle race, you're getting the chase race. So I think the bumper regularly is getting over 20 runners, 18, 20, 22, 24. I think you could still have a really, really competitive bumper. Colts only and probably get sort of 14, 16, 18 runners, and you could get a mares race with 10 or 12. Again, it will probably be a Mullins benefit, but the bumpers tend to be. But it just gives you another race. And I don't think enough mares get entered for it because they're mares, but I think there's lots of mares in training or would be aimed at that with a bumper there. But that is the main one. What I'd look at doing, I know they have the big on throughout National Anthem on veteran races now. It's becoming more watchable. People are enjoying them more. And I know many of the races, I think the main one is at Sandown. I'm pretty sure it's Sandown. And I think they have them on, is it the Royal and Military Day? I think they do. But I thought what they could do, I love handicaps, as I say, I love pool betting. I think what they could do, they could probably have a series of races throughout the year, or qualifying races like they do for the a couple of races at Cheltenham there. And I think what they could do, they could have a veterans chase at say 2.5 miles. They could have another veterans chase at 3 miles, and a hurdle race at 2.5. That gives you 3 races. But I would make them all handicaps, and I would stipulate that every horse has to be either 10 or above, or maybe 11 or above. Definitely 10, but maybe even 11 or above. I still think you'd get lots and lots of horses going for those races, and I think you'd get a lot because there's not a massive programme for veterans. But if they have their own championship races at Cheltenham, I think they'd be well served. Now, the downside with that is you might have 13, 14 and 15-year-old horses. You may have. You get some of them kind of ages over the cross-country in Ireland, and now and again in England, but often in Ireland, I note. And the only downside with that, as the horse gets a lot older, you're probably opening the door or giving a chance to horses, with heart attacks and on the field of play and whatever else. And I know they don't want to start seeing that at Cheltenham. But I think if you have a handicap and you don't go too mad, and you don't go over, say, the 3 mile. 3 mile may be a lot for veterans. Maybe if they go 2 mile 6 and 2 mile 2, as opposed to 2.5 and 3 miles. Yeah, 2 mile 2 races might encompass horses that can do anything from 1 mile 7 to 2.5 mile. And a 2 mile 6 can be horses that have grown up running 2 mile 4 to 3 mile. That's probably the way to go, in fact, when I think of it better. But a 2 mile 2 and a 2 mile 6, horses 10 and above, or maybe even 11 and above, and a 2 mile 4 hurdler. I think that'd be great. So there's 3 veterans races, all handicaps, all that I will be pretty sure will get over 16 runners. Great for pool betting, great as a spectacle, and it's given them horses that we've grown up with, that we've loved for many a year, the chance to run and more importantly win on the real big stage at the Homer Racing, because they don't get that throughout the festival. There's nothing there for veterans. I don't know. That's my thoughts. What do you think? What do you think?